Hi everyone. First things first, the shirt, it's a big celebration day here where I am, and hence the shirt. Now onto what this video is really about. I've been putting together some major programs, working with human design, but also bringing in a lot of the work I did previous to human design. And one of the people that is working with us as an affiliate really did an incredible job in putting it together in their own way. But the emphasis was on heart-centered business. And I wanted to really address what that is, because some people that sounds weird or very woo-woo to. Other people, they're familiar with the term, or they have a sense of that's something they would love to be involved in. But when I looked at that and I viewed what they did and then put it all together, I had a really great insight to what that means on a very practical level. It's all very fine talking about it in an idealistic way, or wishing for it, dreaming of the fact we could live in a heart-centered world, all that sort of thing. And it's a great vision and a great ideal to have. I mean, even people who aren't into that stuff, I'm sure, would go, well, it'd be nice if we actually came from love, you know, in what we're doing and loved what we did. They can even see the practical side of that. But how does it really work? And here's where my insight dropped in. When I looked at all the things I've done over 50 years, you know, I've studied geology and geophysics and got an honours degree in it. I've worked in business. I've worked in teaching. I've even worked a little bit in healing. I've worked in a variety of very practical things. And then I used my natural innovation to take numerology and create and innovate it in a rather radical way. Create brand new approaches to numerology that made sense to practical people, that you could even apply to things like sport and golf and raising children, very practical stuff. Then I did a very similar thing with astrology, and then brought it into relationships and made it far more potent in getting right to the point. And then another thing called the Enneagram, which some of you may have heard about, which most people use to type people's personality, but it's really about what drives your personality. And I took that to a whole new level. All the stuff that I did metaphysically in human potential growth and in spirituality and stuff like that, I also did something similar with. And there was a good 35 years of my life where I was just constantly doing this and developing things and testing them against the real world. But something happened when I came across human design that nothing else had ever done. And in simple terms, it started, everything that I've been doing in my work started to come right down to earth and change and shift and evolve in a way that it worked in the practical world. Now, it didn't happen, it wasn't a quick fix overnight, but the growth and development in it has been so profound. And the ability to take all the esoteric or woo-woo stuff and apply it in the real world has developed so deeply and so richly, and has made such a difference in my life practically. And then when my friend came up with heart-centered business, something just clicked. And I want to show you why human design is the most practical tool for doing anything in a heart-centered way, where it really works in the real world. That's quite a claim. You know, human design is the transition between the idea and the ideal and the vision of being heart-centered in the way you live, or having a heart-centered business, and the actual reality. And I'm going to show you very specifically why. So I'm just going to do a screen share. And I want you to look at something which is the original material that the founder of human design was given. And I'm going to cover not just human design, but the design of every different form, very briefly. And I want you to note what they all have in common. And it's very easy because we start off with rocks and inanimate objects. And they have this yellow diamond. For those of you who know human design, it's called the G center. But it's the part of us that pulls everything about who we are together and creates an identity based on our ability to love and our sense of what our direction is in life. Now, that's for human beings. But early on, the one thing that inanimate objects have that they share with us is they have this G center. And then you progress down to single cells over here. And they've got a channel and another center, but they've got a G center too. And then you move up to plants and they've got a G center too. They've got other centers. What that means is every one of these energetically is connected to something that defines their identity through their ability to love. And I don't mean human sexual love. I'm talking about just straight out the core essence of love, whatever that is for that form. And their sense of direction, which develops a little later on in the evolution. So here you go up to insects, G center, birds, reptiles, fish, G center, mammals, yep, it's got that yellow center. Then you go along to human beings, and we've got a G center too. Let me show you. Here is my chart, and guess what? Right in the middle, there's a G center. Now, beyond that, there's something else. These are two forms that are beginning to evolve in the world. And over the decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years ahead, these forms will develop. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole theory, but the one thing I just want to point out is, guess what? They've got a G center too. Now, here's one of them. It's got a particular name in human design, but guess what? It's got a G center. Terrific. And even beyond that, there's going to be a development. And here's a picture of it. And guess what? Amongst all its complexity, and you don't have to understand anything, it's got a G center. Okay. Now, that G center is where love comes from. That's what most people mean when they talk about heart. You know, sometimes there's the will to do things, you've got great heart. But really, love, your identity and your direction in life, the really important things. If you're going to live a life that's heart-centered, you've got to be moving along the path that really suits you, that's meant for you, that you're designed to walk. And you're going to need to access love. And every single form in this physical world actually has a G center. What I'm saying is being heart-centered is not just an ideal. It's actually a fact of the way in which we are designed, whether you're a rock or an insect, a tree, a mammal, a fish, a human being, or something that's going to emerge in the future. It's built into our design. Now, okay, that's all nice, very theory, but how's that going to help you? Well, as I said, I showed you a human design chart. And if you know your design, because that human design chart, it's not, a club you join or anything like that. It is a map of how you're designed to operate in the physical world. That's what it is. It tells you where you receive, where you act, where you do things, what your gifts and talents are, how you make decisions, what makes you unique amongst everyone else in the human race. and how you're designed to live your life elegantly so you experience satisfaction and success and feeling at peace and delight. In other words, in simple terms, you enjoy your life. Nothing before that, when I looked at science, when I was in business, there was no map like that. Even numerology or working with numbers, working with astrology, it was all food for, working things out mentally. But human design shows you exactly how you are designed to operate in a heart-centered, because the whole chart is centered around that G center, in a heart-centered way, a way where you come from love and walk your own path, the path you're designed to walk. And your identity, the core of your identity comes from that. So rather than just theorizing or wishing or dreaming of or conceptually trying to live a heart-centered life, understanding your human design not only enables you to free your mind up to do extraordinary things and really allow the body to make decisions in a way that truly work for you and turn up as who you really are, that doing that automatically puts you in a place where you're designed to operate from what people call your heart. For people who long to have a heart-centered life, whether that is a jargon word you use or not, human design is the bomb. It's practical. You can apply it in the real world. You don't have to believe in anything as a cult. You just need to test it in your own life and see that that's what it does. Wearing the shirt's probably not the smartest thing to do with marketing, but it's a day of celebration, So who cares, It's just something I'd love to do today, and to acknowledge my partner for buying me this, I enjoy doing that. I'm coming from my heart. And that's what human design, amongst all the practicality, and human design is the most practical tool I've ever come across, practical map, I've ever come across, in terms of getting you right in tune with who you truly are and using the talents you're truly gifted with and knowing where to receive help. It's brilliant. But it also enables you to live a heart-centered life and build a heart-centered business. Talk to you again soon. If you want to know more, hey, contact me and we can go into any number of things, consultations, programs, whatever. Be happy to do that with you and help you with this. But realize now there's a practical map to live a heart-centered life. See you soon.